"Sir, you have to leave, now." Those 6 words dropped into the luxurious silence of Regent's Prime, the most expensive restaurant in the whole city. Every head turned. Every fork stopped midair. And at the center of it all stood Ethan Crowell, the 42-year-old CEO of Apexin Technologies, a man who was hours away from closing the biggest deal of his life, $100 million. Ethan wasn't used to being told what to do. Especially not by a new waitress, barely in her 20s, with trembling hands but eyes full of fire. Her voice didn't crack. Her stance didn't shift. She meant it. "Sir," she repeated, "you have to leave right now. You're in danger." For a moment, nobody breathed. Was this a prank? A mistake? Or something far more dangerous? Ethan didn't know yet, but in the next few minutes, this waitress, this complete stranger, would either save his life or destroy everything he'd worked for. Just 2 hours earlier, Ethan woke up feeling invincible. Today was the day. After 8 months of negotiations, Apexin Technologies was finally securing a $100 million partnership with an international investment group. A deal that would push his company into the global spotlight. His team was prepared. The investors were excited. The future looked perfect. The final meeting was planned at Regent's Prime, a place where every plate cost more than most people's monthly bills. And for Ethan, this deal meant more than success. It meant redemption. For years, he had been labeled ruthless, obsessed, a man who built empires but destroyed relationships. Today, he wanted to prove he could win without losing himself. When he walked into the restaurant, the mood was electric. The investors, 3 men in tailored suits, smiled warmly. Conversations flowed easily. Laughter filled the air. Everything was going too perfectly. And he didn't know that someone else's plan had already begun. Her name was Mira Hassan. A new hire. First week on the job. Quiet. Observant. The kind of girl people overlooked. But that didn't mean she wasn't watching. Since morning, Mira had noticed 2 suspicious men sitting at table 9, no drinks, no food, no conversation. Just staring. Staring at Ethan. Every time he laughed. Every time he lifted his glass. Every time he leaned closer to the investors. Their hands moved under the table. Mira caught a glimpse of something metallic. A wire? A trigger? She wasn't sure. But she did know danger when she saw it. Because just a year earlier, someone she loved had been hurt in a similar situation. She had promised herself, never again. Never stay silent. So when Ethan got up to take a call and stepped toward the hallway, Mira followed him. Her heart pounding so hard she felt it in her throat. She grabbed his wrist. "Sir, you have to leave, now." Ethan's eyes widened. Confusion twisted across his face. "What are you?" "Please," she whispered urgently. "You need to trust me. There are men watching you. And they're not here for food." Ethan wasn't a man who trusted easily. But something in Myra's eyes, fear, urgency, sincerity, forced him to pause. He looked back toward the dining area. 2 men. Black jackets. No plates. He hadn't even noticed them before. Before he could respond, Mira added. "They aren't alone. Someone inside your meeting is working with them." That sentence hit Ethan harder than anything. Betrayal? Inside his deal? His mind spun. Anyone around him could have a motive. Jealous competitors. Employees angry about layoffs. Rivals waiting for him to fail. But sabotage during a $100 million meeting? That meant someone wanted him gone, not just professionally, but physically. Mira grabbed his arm again. "There's a service exit behind the kitchen. If we leave right now, I can get you out before they move." "Why should I trust you?" Ethan whispered. "Because," she said softly, Your enemies are already moving toward this hallway. And then. A loud crash echoed from the main room. Chairs scraped. Heavy footsteps. They were coming. Ethan didn't need more convincing. Lead the way, he said. The kitchen burst into chaos the moment Mira pulled Ethan inside. Chefs yelled. Pots clattered. Someone shouted, "Who let customers in here?" Mira ignored everyone. "This way," she said, weaving through the maze of counters. Behind them, the footsteps grew louder. Fast. Aggressive. The men were following. Just as they reached the steel service door, someone blocked their path. Victor Hale. Ethan's chief operating officer. His right-hand man for 10 years. "Ethan," Victor said calmly. "You're making this harder than it needs to be." Ethan felt the floor vanish beneath him. "Victor? What the hell is going on?" Victor sighed. "You weren't supposed to find out like this. But since you did, step aside and let them do their job." Mira stepped in front of Ethan. "No." Victor glared at her, a cold, venomous stare. "Who is this waitress?" he sneered. "The one who saw through your plan," Ethan said slowly. Victor rolled his eyes. "You're worth more dead than alive, Ethan. The investors want the deal, just not with you." The truth hit like a bullet. His friend. His partner. Trying to eliminate him. "Open the door," Mira whispered urgently. Ethan kicked the metal bar. The door flew open. Cold air flooded in. They ran. Victor shouted behind them. The two men from Table 9 rushed out the back exit, chasing them into the empty alley. Mira grabbed Ethan's hand. "This way." They sprinted between buildings until they reached a busy intersection. People everywhere. Cars. Noise. Safety. Finally, the chase ended. Victor and his men disappeared back into the shadows. Breathless, Ethan turned to the girl who had just saved his life. "Why did you do it?" Myra's answer was simple. "Because someone once saved me. And I couldn't watch someone else walk into danger if I could stop it." Within 24 hours, everything changed. Ethan contacted authorities. Police raided the restaurant. Victor was arrested attempting to flee the city. The two hired men were caught as well. The investors, shocked by the betrayal within their own ranks, cancelled the deal immediately. $100 million, gone. But Ethan didn't care. He was alive. And he knew exactly who to thank. He returned to Regent's Prime the next day. Mira stood outside, nervously clutching her apron, afraid she might get fired for causing chaos. Instead, Ethan smiled warmly. "You saved my life," he said. "And I owe you more than words." "I just did what anyone should do," she replied shyly. "No," Ethan said. "Very few people would risk everything for a stranger." He offered her a job, not as a waitress, but as a security and risk advisor for Apexon Technologies. Her eyes widened. "Me? But I don't have a degree or—" "You have courage," Ethan interrupted. "You have instincts. And you pay attention. That's more valuable than any resume." Mira didn't know what to say. For the first time in her life, someone saw her potential. And Ethan? He walked away from that moment knowing something he had forgotten long ago. In business, you can earn millions. But trust, loyalty, and humanity. Those are priceless. Their story became a legend in the company. Employees told it like a myth. The CEO who survived betrayal because a waitress spoke up. The girl who saw danger when no one else did. The $100 million deal that wasn't worth a single human life. And at the center of it all was that one unforgettable moment. "Sir, you have to leave, now." The words that saved a life. And changed two destinies forever.